Oh, hey everybody, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It is April 1st, and I want to come on here and say, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. It is my nephew's birthday. His birthday is on April Fool's Day, guys. And I want to let you guys know what happened when I found out that my sister-in-law, who was having a hard time getting pregnant for years, was pregnant with my nephew and was about to have my nephew on April 1st. 2000, when was TJ born? 15. 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 16, 15. Don't kill me. So yes, guys, my nephew is 7 years old today, but let me give you guys a story time on my nephew. So my nephew name is Timothy J. His middle name is J, J-A-Y. Yes, Timothy J. He was the miracle baby of the family. He was the one that we all been waiting for. My sister didn't believe that he would come, but then I know her faith was restored and just grew immensely when she was pregnant with my nephew. It's my brother. Yes, my blood brother. His baby. So one day I get a call 7 years ago on this day that my sister-in-law was being rushed to the hospital. So of course I'm thinking, why are you playing on my phone? Don't play on my phone. April Fool's, right? April Fool. I'm waiting for the April Fools. I got you. And so they were like, no, it's an emergency situation. We had to rush her to the hospital. Like, we're on our way to the hospital right now because she is on the way to the hospital. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, April Fools, right? Come on with the April Fool's joke already. It should be done. Ha, ha, ha. And they were like, no, we are not kidding. This is a real thing. And I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, so y'all not playing, right? My brother called me and was like, I need you at the hospital. And I was like, oh, wait, this is serious. Okay, so let me hop in the car. I literally stopped whatever I was doing, got in the car and just hit it. Packed my daughter up and I was like, I gotta go. She was rushed to the hospital because she was eclamptic. Eclampsia is when the blood pressure is through the roof. It is through the roof and it can cause harm to the mother and the child. Like, I've had in the NICU, because I am still a NICU nurse, but I'm not working as, y'all, I don't need to talk about that. But anyway, she went into eclampsia. She was pre-eclamptic. She was already on medication for her blood pressure. And I believe she said that at the time she went to the hospital. No, she went to her doctor and they took her blood pressure and it was through the roof. And so with that, she can go into a coma. She could have died, So anyway, she was rushed to the hospital and they did an emergent C-section, got the baby out, and, she was placed into the ICU. So while we were there, she was getting all the stuff done to her, whatever. So anyway, guys, my nephew was born. My nephew was born at 29 weeks. He was a 29-weeker, so that's pretty small, but he was not a micro Premie, meaning that, 29-weeker. So at that time, the eyes are opening, but lungs are not fully developed, and other parts are not fully developed. But he was like a very, very small little shrimpy baby. So my brother came out of the room. It was a lot of people in the waiting room at that time, and he came out with his phone and he was showing us the baby on the phone. So we were all, oh my God, we're happy. He's born. He looks good, blah, blah, blah. And he was on a radiant warmer. So the radiant warmer is that little bed that has like a lamp that goes over it to keep them warm. So it's just an open bed with the little walls around it. And then it's just that, and he's laying on like a chuck or something like that. The hospital that she was at was a level 2 hospital. So they didn't get those critical babies that I normally work with or normally took care of as patients. So that, when I saw that picture, I was like, okay, all right, 29-weeker. When I see a 29-weeker, I'm putting them in an isolate. We have our golden hour. We have to get these things done within a certain time frame. And then we need to have that isolate closed before the hour is up. So we have to draw our labs. We have to make sure that we have lines. We have to make sure that, you know, measurements are done. Like it's a whole, like a little list of things that need to be done. Everything that needs to be into that patient before the hour is up. So that's what I'm used to. So when I saw the picture of my nephew, I was like, okay, they got him on a radiant warmer. Okay, and we don't do that. We put bigger babies on radiant warmers. Bigger babies that have the fat, the brown fat that can handle being, okay, just calm down, girl. Calm down, because we ain't doing that no more. Okay, so I saw the baby and I was just like, okay, you know, I'm going to give it some time. And then there was a point in time where my brother was like, oh, guys, you can see him in the window. So they opened up a window and everybody was able to peep in and see him. And we were all like, oh, yeah, right? So I'm saying, you know, I'm going to not be the nursey sister, not be the nursey aunt. Let me not do any of that. Let me just see what's happening, see what's going on. So at that point later that night, my sister, we were all able to go see her in the ICU. And I was like, you know, you need to just relax. You're fine. She was on, I believe, hydrolysine and some other medications to keep her blood pressure down, keep her blood pressure within normal limits, functioning within normal limits. And so that caused her to have, you know, I want to say her being in ICU kind of caused her a little bit of fear, you know, because normally people that have babies, they're not going to ICU. So I know my sister was afraid, and also not seeing her baby. She's away from her baby. So that's another thing. So I believe we went home, let the nurses do their thing. We went home and I came back the next day to see my sister also again, to check up on her, see how she was doing. She was able to go see her son. I want to say they took her in a wheelchair. My brother, I remember my brother was pushing her down in the wheelchair. So I was there to see that moment. And I got photos, and I think I'm going to post them in this vlog. So after that, while we were in the NICU, I'm noticing, you know, they have a tube feed in, which is normal. Babies that they don't usually take milk by mouth yet. They don't really know about, you know, they don't know how to do all of that stuff yet. So, and they still have him in this radiant warmer. Fix it, Jesus. So me, trying not to be petty, but I am concerned for my nephew's health. And so I said to the nurse, I said, how long is he going to be in this thing right here? And she was like, oh, he's going to be there for a while. And I said, what's a while? She was like, you know, usually it's a doctor's order to change the bed to something else, but they usually just stay on that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I'm looking at the feed. The tube is connected to what? So I'm looking to see where it was connected. It's connected to a syringe. And I'm like, what's in the syringe? Because I already knew my sister had not produced any breast milk at that point. And they were like, oh, it's formula. Is what? And she said, it's formula, but we restarted it just now because we had to shut it off hours ago because his belly. I said, yeah, I noticed his belly. And you guys restarted formula for a 29-weeker and noticed that his belly was becoming bloated. It was getting big. And y'all restarted feeds. Y'all restarted the feeds. Doctor came, and then that's when I mentioned, what formula is that? What is that? And the doctor said, the neonatologist, he said, oh, it's baby's milk. And I said, yeah, what baby's milk is that? And he were like, I want to say, he wanted to say Enfamil, Similac. I don't even remember what it was. But I was like, my brother, I was so shocked. And I said, how many times y'all going to feed him that before y'all have to take him to surgery for neck? Or for him to curse. And they looked at me, and my brother was like, yeah, my sister is a level 3 NICU nurse. And she works at this hospital that all those NICU sick babies go to. And I looked at my brother like, okay, so you're just going to expose me? But I kind of exposed myself because I was like, at this point, what the hell y'all got in this tube? And what y'all trying to do to my nephew? Do y'all know he is the miracle baby of the family? Y'all trying me, nigga? I said, no, what you're going to do is stop that feed. We're not feeding him that. Do you guys not have donor milk here? Because my sister is not producing any breast milk. So there should be donor milk being fed to my nephew. And they were like, oh, no, we don't do donor milk here. I said, stop, cut. Restart the TPN and lipids, and y'all got to figure that out. Y'all got to get some donor milk. He is not, no, you guys are not going to give him neck. Okay? Y'all not going to give him neck. NEC, guys. NEC. Necrotizing enterocolitis. Y'all not going to give that to him. Not stage 1, not stage 2, not stage nothing. So the Neo stopped them feeds. And I said, and secondly, can he not be in this? He needs to be in a warmer with humidity to mimic him still being in his mother's womb. Can we? I need that right now. Like, no, right now. Or I will go and take my concerns to administration. So what y'all want to do? Or when I do take my concerns to the administration, I get him shipped out of here. But then I'm like, well, then there's other babies that are under y'all care. So it won't make sense if I take this baby out of here to another hospital and then y'all do it to somebody else. Because y'all know what? I want to say, I promise y'all like a month prior to, we received a patient from that specific hospital who the IV infiltrated and caused the baby arm to be amputated. What y'all not about to do is play with this one. Figure it out. I will be here every single day to make sure ain't nothing happening with my baby. And then I'm going to also look around to see what else y'all got going on. Where's the Z-flows? Where are the items that help with positioning of the baby? We do not want him to have a toaster head. We do not want him to have, no. What we're not going to do is all of that. So anywho, after maybe a few days of me showing up and doing all of that, y'all know I'm not trying to be that person. One of the nurses that was a travel nurse from New York, she came up to me and she was like, oh, you're the NICU nurse? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be that person. I just wanted to be my nephew's aunt, but I needed to advocate for him and I needed to advocate for my sister and my brother because they don't know. They don't know this world, you know? And he was intubated at the time and then was placed on CPAP. So I am also a respiratory therapist and a NICU respiratory therapist at that, pediatric, but NICU therapist as well, because that's where I started from, the NICU. Okay. And I'm looking at the vent and I'm like, yeah, so the tidal volume and okay, that's too much PEEP. Okay, so his oxygen level is pretty high. And yeah, he's hitting hundreds. He's very oxygenated. So why are we at 30%? Let's go ahead and decrease the O's and let's go ahead and get some, y'all. So Miss Mams from New York was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking up. Thank you so much for saying something because I've been saying something since I've been here and nobody's listening to me. So it's great coming from somebody on the outside. I said, girl, say less. What you need? What y'all need to order? Frogs? Frogs is another positioning too. What y'all need? Y'all, do y'all change the isolates every 7 days? What do y'all need help with protocols? What y'all need? And she was like, the donor thing is something big. Mind you, y'all, after I mentioned the donor milk situation, my sister called me like a day or two later while I was at work. And she was like, what do y'all do for donor milk? How do y'all get the donor milk? So I had to go investigate to see how we contacted the donor milk banks and find out how the paperwork works and all that stuff. So my nephew could get donor milk. And it was covered with her insurance. Don't play with me. Thank you, nurse. She was just telling me she was just so grateful that somebody said something because everything was falling on deaf ears when she spoke up. And I know how that feels to want to advocate, but you really can't because it's like the doctor's like, but I'm the doctor, so what I say go. And I'm like, hold up. You need to do more research. This is why they have journal clubs, and that's why they have different things for you to educate yourself and be more in depth with the newest research. So people ain't doing that stuff no more. You need to catch up. Okay. My nephew is now on breast milk and he is thriving. He was on CPAP. Then they ended up putting him on high flow cannula. And then my nephew is like thriving. I'm telling my sister, you better hold that baby. You better put that baby to your chest. Kangaroo him. Kangaroo him. And my brother too. I told him, you better kangaroo that baby. I don't care. Kangaroo. I want to say after a month and a half of him being in the hospital, he became this beautiful baby boy that was able to be discharged and was able to go home, y'all. So I was so happy to hear that I was babysitting him. I think y'all seen a few of my vlogs from years ago. If y'all want to scroll back, maybe I'll make a card of one of the vlogs where he is a little baby and I'm holding him. Y'all can click on the card. And he just grew up so nicely. My sister had him in the sling, and I used to have a sling when I had my daughter. I would have her in a sling, and nobody would know that I had her in there because it looked like I had a little bag, like a little purse, and she was just tucked in there. So my sister also had that, and yeah, y'all, my sister went back to the hospital. I want to say 2 years later or a year later, because she became acquainted with the nurses, had relationships with the nurses. And the nurse said to her, do you know that we were in a process of becoming a level 3 NICU? And because your sister spoke up and gave us more ideas of what we should do to better our unit, we have got the grant, or we got the approval to be a level 3 NICU. And I was like, oh, that's good. And she said, no, let me tell you the best part about it. She said, do you know now that the babies in the NICU are drinking donor milk? Because of you, the babies in the NICU are drinking donor milk. Y'all, I feel so proud. And I want to say that they call the wings something like the Desire baby or the Nick that baby. Like, it's something they bring, like they know my nephew in that hospital. They know my nephew in that unit. And I'm so grateful, y'all. So today was an April Fool that I cannot ever forget, because it was truly not an April Fool. It's my nephew's birthday, and I give a shout out to my nephew, TJ. I love you, baby boy. I love you so much. That's my guy. That's my guy, y'all. That's my baby right there. He already know it. I love JoJo. JoJo is his sister, who also is a NICU baby, but was placed in a hospital that is more advanced, in the city we live. So it's more advanced, and they already knew what was up. So I didn't have to worry about them at all. And I had a few friends that worked in that too. So yes, happy birthday, TJ. I love you so much. Your birthday party is coming up, and I cannot wait to celebrate with you. And that's how I'm going to end my vlog, y'all. That was my story time for my nephew, who was a NICU baby, who could have easily died. My sister could have easily died. You know what? And I forgot to mention that she coded while she was in the OR. She coded, meaning that her heart stopped while she was in the emergency room, y'all. I mean, in the emergency operating room. That is wild. So my sister also is a miracle standing today. Okay? All right, TJ, I love you, TJ. Happy birthday. Mwah, 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 my little man. My snickle knuckle, my popatuka. My mwah, mwah, I love you, baby. I love you, boy.
Happy birthday.